This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening and welcome to the September 3rd, 2025 South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners meeting. I will call this meeting to order. We have all commissioners present this evening. At this time, I would ask you all to please rise. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to announce that all public sessions of the South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners are electronically recorded, filed, and posted to the Township website for public access. At this time, I'll ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to review our public virtual meeting rules.
Thank you. The public virtual meeting rules are as follows. Courtesy of the floor for non-agenda items will be at the beginning and end of the agenda. Public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. For all listed agenda items, the board president will call for courtesy of the floor prior to the Board of Commissioners taking action on that specific agenda item. For in-person attendees, please raise your hand to be recognized, then move to the podium when directed. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record and may then proceed with asking your question. For those participating virtually, please mute your microphone or telephone to avoid any background noise that may cause interference during the meeting. The chat box feature will be active throughout the meeting. If you have a comment or question, please type your full name and address into the chat box. The staff member monitoring GoToMeeting will then unmute your microphone and you will have the opportunity to comment or ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I'd also like to announce the Board of Commissioners did meet in executive session this evening to discuss legal and personnel matters. Agenda item 4 is courtesy of the floor, opportunity for any member of the public to address the board on any non-agenda items. If you would please come up to the podium. Good evening. Turn on the microphone and please state your name and address for the record.
Brian Height, 1273 Eck Road. I'm here because after 4 months after this board approved the infrastructure improvements in the right-of-way in front of my house, construction began yesterday. And I have a series of questions, and if you don't have the answers now, I would appreciate them in a timely manner of how long will this project take to complete? And will all the trees that have been removed so far be replanted? And who was on site from the township today at 10:51 a.m. and at 2:47 p.m.?
We'll get back to you on the answers to those questions.
Okay. The reason why I bring it up is at 2:41, the U.S. Postal Service gave me an alert that there is no access to the delivery location for the second day in a row. And if this project goes on for 2 weeks, I'm going to not get mail for 2 weeks. So that's the first thing. And at 10:51, and tomorrow is trash day, so I wonder if my trash is going to get picked up. Because when we went through this 4 years ago, it didn't get picked up. So, and I wonder where all the construction workers are going to the bathroom on a 10-hour day. So I have some interesting video that can tell you where they're going. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing those to the attention of the township, and the township will respond in a timely manner. Thank you. Is there anyone else present who would like to address the board? Is there anyone online with a comment for the board?
There's no one online and putting anything in the chat, but I ask that the two people on your phone, please mute your microphone.
Moving on to agenda item 5, presentations. We have our July 2025 financial review year-to-date report, and I'll ask Township Manager Tom Petrucci to please present.
Thank you. So getting a little further along now throughout the fiscal year, we're seeing positive trends. So for example, in the general fund for revenue, we're at 74% of budget, expenses 42.39%. Fire tax fund, very similar, 85.75% revenue received, expenses 34.57%. So we're trending very nicely there. And as we've indicated previously, the fire tax is almost all entirely comprised of revenue from real estate taxes. The water fund is at, for revenue, 20.43% and expense 17.54%. Sewer is 55.9% for revenue and expense 33%. Refuse fund is 76.57% for revenue, expense 62.95%. So of course, the expense there is it's more of an in and out with the revenue received from the fees, for the service fees. Capital fund is 30.28% of budget and expense 27.93%. And state highway aid is 101% of budget and for revenue and expense 72.13%. So overall, nicely trending across every fund. So we're on pace to receive our revenue for the year and actually be lower for the expenditures. So that's consistent with the last 3 fiscal years that we've seen the results for.
Excellent news, Tom. Thank you for this presentation, and please pass our appreciation on to the finance team for keeping us updated on our financials. Agenda item 6 is meeting minutes from the August 20th, 2025 meeting. I have 2 corrections for the board's consideration. One was that our township engineer that evening was Aaron Bett. Tony Tallarida was absent, and solicitor attorney Zader was in attendance, not Jennifer Aldifer. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes with those 2 corrections?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then item 7, ordinances. We have an ordinance of South Whitehall Township, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 350, zoning of the codified ordinances to add data center as a new use to Section 350-48D2, add Section 350-33 to create a planned innovation, research, and technology PERT overlay district, establishing regulations for the PERT district, add attachment 4, Appendix D, PERT design guidelines, amend the zoning map to identify the boundary of the PERT overlay district, and provide for a repealer, failure to enforce, not a waiver, severability, and effective date. And I'll ask long-range planner Chris Strolla to please present.
Thank you, Commissioner Kelly. We've been talking about the PERT district for the past several months. We've taken the draft ordinance to some of our advisory boards for review and have taken their comments and some edits into the current version that you see. The draft ordinance and all the materials, including the zoning map and the design guidelines, have been sent to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. It was reviewed by their comprehensive planning committee last week, along with the full commission last Thursday. A letter is in your packet of their comments on the ordinance. It was favorable for the most part, and there are some good comments in there on how this is a good approach to handling what we're looking at, certainly as far as data centers. I did want to just comment on one of the comments in the letter on the noise. So as part of the adopting ordinance, we are both defining data centers and including data centers as a possible use for a conditional use within the industrial zone. At the same time, this ordinance, the focus of this ordinance is for the PERT district overlay, an optional overlay district, which also allows for data centers in a slightly different path as a by right use, again, in that optional overlay. So you'll notice some similar criteria for those 2 options, but you will also notice some different criteria for those 2 options. So I just wanted to point that out, that the comments on the noise, I believe, were in respect to the conditional use ordinance, or the conditional use process for data centers reflects much smaller data centers, most likely internal to the industrial zone. The process described in the adopting ordinance is for the noise levels to remain as they were prior to development, so a standard baseline there. Whereas the data centers provided in the PERT district overlay are most likely going to be a new development. These are the kind of larger campus style data center plans for options into the district overlay. So the intent there is to have a standard objective decibel level. So that's just the difference between those. Is right now, where if you're looking at a project through the PERT district, it is most likely going to be on something that there's not any development there, in an area where it's not surrounded by a lot of existing industrial development. Therefore, we wanted to establish the objective standard, and the conditional use process is most likely going to be a redevelopment or something that is surrounded by other industrial uses. So the Township Planning Commission, unfortunately, had to cancel their meeting last month because of a lack of a quorum. We have discussed the draft ordinance with them a little bit over the past few months. They will review the final ordinance at the September 11th Planning Commission meeting, and we're hoping for a favorable recommendation from there. Tonight, we're asking for a motion to advertise for a public hearing in order to officially adopt the ordinance and the materials that go with it. We are looking at the Wednesday, October 15th scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting. Typically, we, when having these public hearings, we have just incorporated those into the standard Board of Commissioner meetings so that we can try to maximize the public input there and not force people to come out to multiple meetings. In order to meet the criteria of the municipality's planning code, the properties affected by the ordinance, which is the entire industrial zone, will need to be posted, and letters mailed to, postcards will be needed to be mailed to those property owners, and we will need to post the property at some conspicuous place. We're looking at between Cedar Crest Boulevard, Orfield Road, and Mock Chunk Road. There's very visible roadways that cover most of the industrial district. We would look at posting a public notice on those roadways, as well as sending mailers to the property owners within the industrial district and expanding that to try to capture some of the surrounding neighborhoods at least 1,000 feet from the property boundary, where a property owner would get notice of the public hearing. We will also certainly be promoting the public hearing from now until October 15th through the township's regular channels, the township website, social media, and so forth. I have started to prepare, as you'll see, this is the home screen of the township's website. And on the splash screen here, I've added something for the zoning updates we've been discussing. There's a series of frequently asked questions here that residents might find helpful in just understanding. They've heard us talk about the PERT district. They've also heard us talk a little bit about the Jordan Valley district. So this helps to familiarize everyone with where we are in these potential optional overlays. And then links down here go directly to a hub of information that provides a lot more detail on what specifically is in the ordinance and tries to break down some of the confusing language as required by a legal adopting ordinance, just so it's easier for residents to understand. For example, we talk about what this ordinance does and the potential for including new uses as part of the PERT district. We talk about data centers. Specifically, again, to my point earlier, I think it's confusing to some people on the sort of the two paths for where this ordinance introduces data centers as a use, one of them being conditional use path, and then the other being through the optional PERT district. So I created a table here that sort of breaks down some of the similarities and differences so that the public doesn't need to extract all that from the ordinance itself. It's supposed to be a little bit easier to understand. So this is all up and running. I'll probably be adding a little bit more to this. The postcards will have links directly to the township website and to this hub as well. So from now until October 15th, with a motion from the board to proceed with that public notice, we'll be doing as much advertising as we can.
Excellent, Chris. Thank you. You and Dave both. Significant amount of work has gone into developing this draft ordinance. We've reviewed it at several meetings, and we're going to consider moving it forward to advertise tonight. Thank you for building this website hub. I think that your chart and pictures and the links are going to be very helpful for the public to begin to understand what it is that the township is proposing at this particular site. And I'm also very appreciative of your outreach to go to 1,000 feet of that district to notify residents. You're going over and above the 300-foot requirement based on state law. So thank you for expanding that. I am grateful for the township taking a proactive stance on this topic. I know we've regionally heard an awful lot of conversation about data centers, and I know today there was a meeting in Harrisburg, a hearing at a committee meeting to discuss potential impacts. There's discussion at the state level to streamline the permitting process. And I'm grateful that the township is moving forward with an optional overlay where we've defined detailed design standards, enhanced buffering to preserve natural landscapes to help mitigate any potential impact for any research and technology related land uses. Very grateful for all the work that you've done. And I hope that our citizens will respond when they get the postcards, come to our workshop on the 15th, our hearing. Visit the website, reach out to township staff if you've got questions. We're here to help. This is a lot of information to digest, but you've done a great job of presenting it very clearly to the public, so thank you.
Thank you. I should add that I'll add a comment box in here and for the public to make comments, and then we'll probably include some sort of way to contact the community development department for questions on this.
Excellent point. Thank you.
I would just add to that. I know we've discussed this 3 or 4 times, so I don't want to be repetitive, but I really, again, I appreciate all the work you guys have done. And I think your hard work is being recognized, not just by the township, but I think beyond. Back in mid to late August, there was a nice article in the Morning Call that mentioned South Whitehall as an example of sort of getting ahead of the curve on data centers. There was an article just a few days ago in WFMZ about townships preparing for this use ultimately coming down the road. So without digging too much into the substance of the ordinance, again, I really want to thank the community development department, staff, everybody involved for truly getting ahead of the curve on this. South Whitehall, I think, will be among the most prepared for this type of use. And there certainly will be municipalities, even ones around us, that will not be as prepared. And I think overall in the long term, the community is going to benefit from your preparedness. The other thing I would say is to any residents who have questions or want to explore this further, obviously the resources you've put together are great, but please feel free to reach out to the board or to staff at any time if you have questions, concerns, want to learn more. Obviously data centers are a hot topic in the news, but if you want to learn more about what the township is doing to protect against some of the negative effects of data centers and build that into the ordinance and preserve land and natural resources while also, accommodating these beneficial economic uses, feel free to reach out. Our doors are always open. I know staff's is as well. So particularly Chris and Dave, you guys have become experts on this now. So now it's your turn to impart your knowledge on the community. So between now and the adoption, it's a little over a month. Please reach out. We want to engage the public as much as possible in this process. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I don't expect the public to be able to decipher the nuances of our ordinance. So I'd rather someone, if they have questions, please feel free to reach out, and we try to make the information as clear as possible as we can. As Diane mentioned, there was a webinar this morning about are you prepared as a municipality for data centers? I attended that, and it was actually somewhat reassuring to hear what some of the municipalities across the Commonwealth are dealing with, and to see where we are as far as preparedness and trying to address not only the impacts that we as staff have learned through our research on this and how this fits into some of our other, as Jacob mentioned, our other planning efforts and our other overlays and kind of the approach to what we're doing with zoning based on feedback from the comprehensive plan and the open space plan. It's reassuring to know that we have done our best to try to take the specific needs of South Whitehall and put it into this ordinance. So I think we're proud of some of this. So I do encourage you to reach out if you have questions, because we'd love to share some of the specifics.
I don't want to be redundant, but great job. Fantastic. I see this as an issue that it's not, if you build it, they will come. It's coming. And thank you so much for making us proactive and all the thoughtful organization and research and time you've put into this. I do have 2 questions for you. The signage, will it be readable? Because historically, our signs are small. Is this going to be something you can see from the road? Just so people
For
can see it.
the posting signs.
Yeah.
So we do have a new sandwich board. So it's 24 by 18. Is it 36? That we can put in. We have one, so we can put in one conspicuous place. I think also using QR codes so people can take a picture of it and then bring us to the website hub that was built. Some ways that we're thinking to kind of help with that.
Okay, as long as it's visible, and I trust you will
Yeah,
do that, and I know you will do that.
We'll probably have to put a lot out because it's a lot of acreage. So there's going to be a lot of signage. We'll try and put them in spots where there's places for people to pull over in case they do want to stop and read it. Postcards will be more direct. I think
Okay,
focus on and getting that.
thank you so much. The second is more of a suggestion, but I noticed you did have a map on here of that area. I don't know, it went by so quickly I couldn't see, but do you have street names just so you can orient people when the public looks at it so they can orient what they're looking at?
I have an interactive map, which is kind of map makers we are, is always so much easier to kind of let people orient to where they are. I just haven't added it to the hub yet. So I have an interactive map that shows the existing industrial district, which is essentially just where the PERT is going. And we have the same thing for the Jordan Valley. Once we get to that, not to confuse where we are with the PERT, but just to show where we are with these overlay districts and where they are in respect to the existing zoning districts. So that should be up probably by the end of the week.
Okay, great, thank you. And once again, you're proactive. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Any other comments from the board? Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Yes, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Good evening.
Large amount of acreage. All the wells dried up. Where were we?
And I'd be happy to answer that. So we've looked at specifically with data centers where the impacts are different than maybe other uses that we have in the industrial district are noise. We've tried to address that through specific noise requirements, kind of the visual impact. They're large, and we've done that through buffering, and then water usage. So one of the requirements of a data center project through either the PERT district or the conditional use is the submission of a community and environmental impact statement. So at the onset, if a development were to come through, we would need to know what they're looking at as far as water usage, what that could mean as far as impact to our aquifers and so forth. I will say, and I would punt to Herb Bender, our Director of Operations as well. I believe that water capacity, I think we have decent water capacity in this area there or technically untapped. It's less of a concern than other areas throughout the country, certainly. But I think the water usage is usually something that we would see early on, more on a specific land development basis. What we try to do in the ordinance is address more of the broad impacts. Certainly understanding each project is going to have its own different needs that we'll address, again, through those impact statements and through our land development process. Absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but we would have all that data prior to any approval of any specific plan.
Yes, and typically we get that, and Herb, correct me if I'm wrong, we get that sort of through the process for any land development. Knowing that this could be an issue, we're asking for a lot of that information up front as part of the ordinance.
Yeah, what happens is they'll submit the land development and then they will request a will serve letter. So we have to make sure we have adequate water to even supply to them before we could give them a will serve letter.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other questions from the public? Is there anyone online with a question on this agenda item?
No comments online.
Thank you. Hearing and seeing none, do I hear a motion to advertise the draft PERT ordinance hearing?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no resolutions tonight. Agenda item 9, motions. 9A, we have a motion to approve security release number 1 for Luther Crest Retirement Community. I'll ask our Director of Community Development, Dave Manhart, to please present.
So yes, this is for the property located at 800 Hausman Road, Luther Crest Retirement Facility. This is the last of the land development projects. This is their first and final security reduction. They went through and completed all the work that was secured. So they're looking for that reduction. The other piece of this is typically when we have the reductions, it enters maintenance period. In this case, there's no improvements being dedicated, so there's no maintenance period required. This being the last project, it's going to give us an opportunity to kind of clear the books on Luther Crest.
Very good. Thank you, Dave. It's nice to see this project come to completion. I've been out there to that facility. It's absolutely stunning. They did a fantastic job, and I'm really grateful for the work and for the community they've established for the residents. Before I open it to the board for questions, I'll ask our township engineer, Aaron Bett, if you have any comments.
Sure. As Dave had mentioned, this is the final and first one of security release. Our staff went through and checked off all the items on the punch list. They were complete. And also the remaining items from the previous phases of the project are also complete as well. So we would move forward with the recommendation to pass this along.
Excellent. Thank you, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
We'll open up to the board for any comments or questions. Any public comment? Any online comments? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 9B, we have a motion to proceed with adoption of the civil service eligibility list for entry-level position of patrol officer in the South Whitehall Township Police Department. Chief Lombardo, if you please present.
Thank you, Commissioner Kelly. So on August 16th, 2025, the police department conducted civil service testing for entry-level police officer through Lehigh County Consortium of Police Chiefs. Physical fitness and written portions were completed here at Parkland High School. Following the physical fitness and written exam testing in accordance with civil service rules, oral interviews were conducted with the top 25 candidates. Thanks to the recruiting team, we had 80 some people apply, 34 were on our list, and we interviewed the top 25. We have 23 left. Just couple of the members are here. Matt Carney did a great job on the recruiting, and Justin Bilka just exited the meeting because what they've been doing is giving tours to potential candidates of the building so they can meet everybody, see our equipment and everything. So that just occurred right now as we're in the meeting. So anyway, following the interviews, an eligibility list has been compiled. 23 people, like I said. Only the top 6 applicants on the eligibility list will undergo polygraph and background check examinations. Applicants that fail the polygraph or background check will be removed from the list with replacements drawn from below the top 6. The Civil Service Commission, we met this morning. And they certified the eligibility list. So the police department is respectfully requesting a motion by the board to approve the eligibility list and proceed with the polygraph and background examinations.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief. Does the board have any comments or questions? Or any public comment on this agenda item? Hearing and seeing none, do I have a motion to approve said motion?
Motion.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And thank you to the officers for participating and helping with these recruits. Then item 9C, we have a motion to proceed with adoption of new police department uniforms to enhance officer safety and wellness, fiscal responsibility, and recruitment and retention efforts. And Chief, if you'd present.
Not surprisingly, it was this uniform committee was born from the recruiting committee because they knew that this would be part of attracting people to the police department. So the police department is proposing a uniform change to support officer safety and wellness, fiscal responsibility, recruitment and retention. Traditional duty belts like the one I'm wearing right now and concealed soft body armor impose significant physical strain on the officers. As we talked in exec session, this weighs between 20 and 25 pounds all on your waist and your lower back. With up to 25 pounds of equipment worn around the waist, officers faced increased risks of chronic lower back and hip pain, sciatic nerve compression, muscular imbalances, and duty-related orthopedic injuries. In fact, the Mayo Clinic and University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire study found that officers that use load-bearing vests experience significantly less back pain and hip pain compared to those using traditional duty belts because the weight is distributed better. These uniforms will incorporate a load-bearing vest. Actually, Officer Carney is next to Officer Peterson. One is wearing the new, one is wearing the old. You could hardly tell the difference. Matt is wearing the one with the load-bearing. The other officer is wearing
Can you turn around?
the regular uniform.
Can you model? Walk the aisle.
Yeah. No music, just that. So you can see Matt has more items up off of his back. He chooses to keep that IFAC back there, which puzzles me, but he says it makes his back feel better. But they've come a long way. The uniforms are now a uniform color with slits in them. They're not black with the loops or anything, so they don't look military. And also what they can do is for rifle rated rounds for like an active shooter, they can get their ceramic plate and just put it inside as they're responding. They don't have to put another vest on top of their uniform, which is what they do now. So this will be an all-encompassing uniform. Those are level 4 rated ballistic panels. So the initial purchase of the uniforms, oh, you have it in there now, Matt? No. Oh, okay, yeah. The initial purchase of the uniforms will be partially funded by Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, and we'll have savings in the uniform budget every year following the initial purchase. So the PD is respectfully requesting a motion to proceed with the adoption of new police department uniforms to enhance officer safety and wellness, fiscal responsibility, and recruitment and retention. Thanks for modeling.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful
It's
job.
very nice to see them in real time. Chief, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for gathering a team together to research this issue and to bring it to the board. Certainly an investment in officer safety and wellness that also has future budgetary savings is a win-win. You know, our primary concern is, of course, officer safety and wellness. But thank you, and I'm certainly in favor of supporting the police on this matter.
I would agree. You've checked all the boxes here, Chief. I know this is something that a lot of officers have wanted for a long time. So I want to thank the officers, those here tonight, and all the other officers for bringing this idea to you. I want to thank you for listening to them and always taking their needs into consideration. I'd like to thank the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, DA Holohan, as well as the detective team there for willing to contribute. It's good for our officers. We're getting contributions up front from the county, and it's projected to save us, at least in the first year, $26,000 on uniforms. So potentially, so that to me, this is a no-brainer. So thanks, Chief, and thanks to all our officers and your new uniform. forms. I hope you will be better off, not just in the short term, but in the long
Yeah,
term with your help as well.
they've certainly earned it. And even the district attorney's contribution is from the contributions of our officers on the ERT, the hostage negotiation team and narcotics task force, that it's because of that the county is working with us to do that. So it really came from them and they finished it off.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I absolutely support this. I'm excited for you. I was just wondering, the fabric, is it nylon? It's a breathable fabric. It's lightweight, right?
A little heavier than like a uniform. I'll show you. It's a little heavier than a uniform shirt, so the part that actually holds the equipment is a little more durable. This is the same as we're wearing there now.
Very professional. Any other board comments? Any public comment? Any online comments? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Then item 9D, we have a motion to advertise bid for the residential structure demolition project at 1995 Brickyard Road and 2007 Brickyard Road. And I'll ask Director of Operations Herb Bender to please present.
Thank you. South Whitehall Township staff is requesting the board's permission to advertise for the demolition and debris removal of 2 township-owned homes located at 1995 and 2007 Brickyard Road. Attached to this memo, please find the complete bid specifications prepared for the project. These documents outline the scope of work, contractors' requirements, and compliance standards necessary for the safe and efficient removal of the structures and associated debris. So we're just asking for a motion to advertise the bid and then put it on pen bid. And then we will come back to the board on the October 1st meeting to award the bid if the board is so inclined to.
Excellent, Herb. Thank you. And thank you to Donna Zaccaro Lagonia for preparing the bid. It's quite extensive. And I did note, thank you for including the photos of the structures that the fire departments had been out practicing fire services out there. So what a great use of that building before it got demolished. Thank you.
Yes.
Does the board have any comments or questions?
Are you going to look at the price of using rollbacks and then just taking a front end loader? Is that, are you going to compare that to the bids when they come in?
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Mascaro to see what it would be. But it's probably going to be cheaper to use the contractor because they're going to be able to haul more in than for us just to haul one. And then for them, it's probably going to be cheaper for the contractor to win the bid to do it. But yes, we can check that.
Herb, after seeing these pictures, I don't even want to ask you my question. I think I asked you it before, though, if there was anything salvageable. And now that I see the pictures, my question's answered. So, yeah, I honestly didn't see the pictures because I had a hard time with them.
Yeah, there's some bricks in there if you want.
No, I just thought, we're talking about history and preserving what we can. And I thought maybe there was some type of structure or item or glass doorknob or something that we could.
No, there were, as Chris can attest, there was nothing really left in them. They were pretty much cleaned out already and they were just in very bad shape.
There's no damage or, what do you call it? Asbestos in there.
We did the asbestos testing and it was all abated
Right.
before the fire department was even
No
in there.
hazardous material or anything.
Yeah, it was already removed, so.
That's it. Thank you, Herb.
Any other board comments? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. Agenda item 10, correspondence and information, boards and commissions. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. Please always remember to check the township website for updates for any meetings and events. Monday, September 8th, 7 p.m. is the Public Safety Commission meeting. Monday, September 8th, 7 p.m. is also a Parks and Recreation Board meeting. Tuesday, September 9th, 6 p.m. is the Crime Watch meeting. Thursday, September 11th, 7 p.m. is Emergency Management Services meeting to be held at Citronia EMS. Thursday, September 11th, 7 p.m. is a Planning Commission meeting. And Wednesday, September 17th, 7 p.m. is a Board of Commissioners meeting.
Thank you, Tom. We have no direction and discussion courtesy of the floor. Agenda item 12, again, any member of the public who'd like to address the board on any non-agenda items? Is there anyone present? Anyone online?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat.
Very good. I need a motion to authorize payment of invoices and disbursements.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have no exec session to schedule. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.